How are you doing today? My name is Jamie Brock, and as Thomas said, I have been to 3 Hero Roundtables, and this is the first one that I'm speaking at. I was asked to speak because my business, called Coffee Rescue, which you see up on the screen there, is intertwined with the Hero Roundtable. In 2012, when my business began, well, actually, I should say a little bit about myself. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I don't know if anybody believes that that's a real place. I've had a lot of people ask me, what is that? Where is Kalamazoo in relationship to Timbuktu? No one's ever asked me that before, and I don't know the answer to that. So that's one interesting tidbit. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, born and raised. And I went to Western Michigan University, got my degree in psychology and English. So I've always been interested in what other people are thinking, what makes them tick, what makes them do what they do. And in 2012, my brother approached me with a business idea to start a food truck out of a converted ambulance called Coffee Rescue. He already had this idea. He already had the ambulance, so I was a little obligated. And I thought, okay, you're crazy. No, the answer is no. But then when he told me that the reason why he came up with the idea was because we had a family member who was financially kind of devastated. And the idea was to start this business to get them back on their feet. I said, okay, I'm in. That's it. That's all it takes. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So we started in 2012, and we used to go business to business and do different deliveries. So I had a route, almost like a garbage truck. And so for the first 2 years, I would drive around to the different businesses and deliver coffee. We had some really fun experiences. One of my favorites was strapping my poor mother to a gurney that came with the truck and walking around the streets of Kalamazoo for a parade, strapping coffee cups all over her, and driving behind her and doing the lights and sirens and all that stuff, and she needed a coffee rescue. So these are some of the shots from the original truck, which I called Old 694. It's retired now, unfortunately. I had the opportunity in 2017 to open a shop at Wing Stadium, which is an event center in Kalamazoo. They have a minor league hockey team that plays there. And I was very excited for it because it would help with the seasonality of the business. Having a food truck in Michigan, you have several months that you have to figure out what you're going to do. And so this was going to solve the seasonality problem. From this, I learned how to negotiate, and I learned that you don't always have to say yes to the deal because it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I said no to that deal. Thank you. This one might look familiar. I came to my first Hero Roundtable in 2019, and this is my actual post. I just found this a couple days ago, so I thought I would share it. Kind of my thoughts after going to the workshop with Karen Vau, which was mentioned earlier, called Get Off the Bench. Karen is a mentor of mine that I met at the Hero Roundtable, and I wish she was here today, but she couldn't be here. And she had a workshop that basically taught you to write everything, or just take an idea that interests you, that is a goal that you've wanted to achieve, and at least write it down in some kind of actionable steps. Take that one step forward. And so during that workshop, I wrote down that I wanted my business to be philanthropic in some kind of nature. So I've always wanted to have Coffee Rescue, actually the rescue part, be something to do with helping people or animals or whatever. So during her workshop, I decided I wanted to try and do that with my business. So my idea was to help animals by selling my coffee and donating a portion of each bag to animal rescue. So I asked Joe during that time frame if he could give me some ideas of places that I could reach out to. And so that was my experience from the first Hero Roundtable that I attended. That was right before COVID. So during COVID downtime, I learned how to roast coffee. I just decided, hey, I don't want to sit here and do nothing. So I asked the person that developed our coffee for us, who's local, to teach me how to do it. So I bought some roasters and learned how to roast. It's actually really fun. And I also learned how to do flavors, different coffee flavors. And I also thought, well, what else can I do? I have a budget surplus from all these years of doing the food truck. I think I'm going to do a brick and mortar. So a lot of people with food trucks think that brick and mortar is your next best step. I'm here to say it might not be, and you might want to think about that, because you really have to, even though you have the best intentions and you think it's the right thing, it might not be. But I did open my first brick and mortar shop in Portage, Michigan, and actually learned how to build it from the ground up, like literally build it from the ground up. I did not know how to lay tile and cut holes in walls and do all this other stuff until that time. During August 2021, I sponsored an event in New York with my business and catered it with my coffee. There's a little circle around the spot that I did for my merchandise giveaway. That was kind of part of it, was to sponsor the event, give away merchandise, and make the coffee and introduce the brand. And this was people who had met over Zoom during COVID. And we kind of just had monthly comedy shows that we would all watch, and we all decided we wanted to get together. And so we got together in New York, and so this is a whole other family that I have that's from all over the place. And you can see who may have been the headliner for Sunday brunch. It was that guy. So I said, all right, our worlds are back in orbit. He's in the same place that I'm at. I've learned how to roast coffee. I've learned how to flavor coffee and do all that. And, now's the time. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to do my elevator pitch. Practiced it a couple times. Went up to Joe, said, hey, this is my idea. What do you think? Eventually, a few months later, we came up with Gatto Pup's Rescue Roast, which I based on Joe's preference coffee flavors that he likes. And $1 from each bag goes to one of his favorite shelters, Love Pup, which is where he got Spumoni, who couldn't make it today. And so that is how it all began. My friend wanted me to put this in there because she told me to make it rain. And I was like, you're crazy, I don't want to do that. And she's like, just do it. So I did. That was after we first started it, and Joe shared it, and that's how successful it was in the beginning. So that's me making it rain. These are some of the new ones that I got last year from people who attended Hero Roundtable. One of them is Captain Encouragement, who wasn't able to be here today either. But that one, I've worked with them on labels and also the flavors of the coffee so that they could kind of pick and choose what they wanted. The hazelnut one actually goes to Work Skills Corporation, which is here today, set up out by the front. And this is all very new, so I'm hoping that, with this, we can launch this whole thing, because this is all brand new. And hopefully get some support for some of these different places and organizations. Here's a new one. I'm introducing as in I just made it. I literally just made this and tested it with some of my customers in the last few weeks, and it's really good. And I decided I would put my truck on there, old 694, and that one is available now. So this is kind of my graphic of all of them that I have right now. It's called Coffees for a Cause. Right now there are 6 flavors and 8 different charities, and they range from animal rescue to suicide prevention, substance abuse, just all kinds of different things, anti-bullying, yeah. And so that's kind of where it's at right now. Like I said, it's very new, so we'll see what happens. There's going to probably be more to come. But I'm very excited about that. And one of the things that I've taken from this is, even though my brick and mortar shop is right now closing, I am just haven't even announced it yet. This is the first time I'm announcing that. I've been looking at it from the perspective of a timeline, because my business just turned 11, and having 3 years, a 3-year period out of that time frame where I'm struggling with the brick-and-mortar shop not being what I wanted it to be, and trying to figure out how do you process that, how do you get through that, and you get to a point where you get past that part and you say, all right, it's just part of the journey. I learned from it. I learned don't spend all your money on advertising. And I also learned, lots of different things about the community that I have and how my customers are actually like my family, my friends and family, because they've rallied around me since day one. I have customers that have been my customers since September 15th, 2012. And they will follow me, and they tell me that too. And it's kind of like actually when you're getting a haircut and the barber or the hairstylist knows everything about you, or like maybe a bartender. That's how I feel, because I know everything about all these people, and I can remember all their drink order and all that, and they can't believe that. But anyway, so that part of the story is closing, but there's so much to look forward to, because I have this new thing happening. The coffee truck is fully booked from October, November, December, January. You're not going to be able to book me. But anyway, that is positive. This is positive. The weight is lifted because for 3 years I've struggled with this dead appendage of a shop trying to figure out how to make it work. And so I'm excited actually to move forward from this and move forward with this. And I think another thing to kind of go forward with is putting kindness out into the world, because that's how I've gotten to the point where I'm at. And the people that are my customers and my friends and my family, they have followed me because of that. And they're the same type of people. So I have thousands and thousands of customers that will follow me no matter what, because I'm kind, they're kind, we are like-minded, So I think that's important, and also just to focus on the intrinsic rewards that you get from each small step. I learned how to roast coffee. That made me feel good. I learned how to, flavor coffee. Yay. I've got all these different charities that I work with. Cool. And I did my elevator pitch with Joe. All right. Those are all things that are small steps that provide intrinsic rewards, and that's what I focus on. And I think that's an important takeaway. Thank you.